Welcome, my friend.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. I hope you're all having a great day, and if that's not the case, I hope this video brightens up your day. In canon, Order 66 was a contingency built into the Grand Army of the Republic. The Jedi had always been viewed with suspicion by Palpatine and his allies, and from the very start, the clones were engineered not just as soldiers, but as tools of control. Unknown to the Jedi, every clone trooper had an inhibitor chip embedded in their brains. This chip suppressed free will in critical moments, ensuring that if Palpatine ever gave the command, the clones would turn against their Jedi generals without question. The brilliance of this plan lies in its subtlety. The clones weren't programmed to hate the Jedi. They weren't aware of the Order buried in their minds. Instead, when Order 66 was triggered, the chip overrode their loyalty, compelling them to slaughter the very leaders they had fought beside for years. We see this unfold in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and the Clone Wars, where beloved characters like Commander Cody, Bly, and Gree all betray their Jedi without hesitation. Canon also introduces us to the tragic story of ARC Trooper Fives, who uncovered the truth about the chips. Despite his desperate attempts to warn Anakin Skywalker and Captain Rex, his warning came too late. Fives was silenced, and the Jedi were doomed. In Legends continuity, the story is slightly different. The inhibitor chip concept doesn't exist. Instead, the clones were conditioned through intense training and programming to obey orders of the Republic no matter what they were. The orders like Order 65, which allowed for the removal of the Chancellor, and Order 66, which branded the Jedi as traitors, were pre-programmed directives. The Kaminoans trained clones to accept these orders as absolute. When the time came, the clones believed the Jedi had actually betrayed the Republic and acted with cold efficiency. This difference creates two slightly different interpretations of Order 66. In canon, the clones were victims, robbed of their free will. In Legends, the clones were loyal soldiers, manipulated into believing their generals had turned against the Republic. For this scenario, we'll primarily follow the canon version of events with the inhibitor chips, because it offers more flexibility for the failure of Order 66. However, I'll weave in elements of Legends to highlight how both timelines could have diverged. It all begins with a single brave clone, ARC Trooper Fives. In our known timeline, Fives uncovers the terrible secret of the inhibitor chips embedded in the clones' brains, chips that made them obey Order 66 without question. He tried to warn the Jedi, but before he could fully reveal the truth, he was silenced. His death ensured the Jedi remained blind to the looming betrayal. But what if Order 66 failed? In this alternate timeline, Fives finds allies among the clones and sympathetic Kaminoan scientists. Rex, Cody, and a handful of other ARC troopers witness Fives' evidence firsthand. A small group of Jedi, including Anakin, Plo Koon, Shakti, and Kit Fisto, are presented with the truth just weeks before Palpatine's grand betrayal. Initially skeptical, the Council cannot ignore the irrefutable evidence. The inhibitor chips exist, and the clones are programmed to execute their Jedi generals without hesitation. Plans are quickly made. Jedi who had led campaigns for years began to discreetly alert their trusted clone units. Across the galaxy, whispers of resistance circulate. For the first time, the stage is set for Order 66 to fail. The day arrives. Across the galaxy, the Supreme Chancellor issues his command.
Execute Order 66.
In the canon timeline, the clones obey without question, turning their weapons on the Jedi they fought alongside for years. In this alternate reality, hesitation is the first sign of resistance. On Kashyyyk, Commander Gree raises his rifle toward Yoda, the tiny Jedi Master standing amid the towering Wookiees. But a subtle signal from his fellow clones, aware of the manipulations in their brains, freezes his hand. Another trooper steps forward, gently but firmly lowering Gree's weapon. Yoda, ever observant, senses the hesitation, and with a nod, directs the Wookiees and loyal clones to defend rather than attack. On Utapau, Cody receives the infamous hologram from Palpatine. He hesitates. He remembers Fives' warning. Instead of raising his blaster against Obi-Wan Kenobi, he shouts orders to his men to stand down. The clones, freed from the control of their chips, follow Cody's lead. In the Outer Rim, Jedi leading smaller campaigns see their clone units falter mid-command. Palpatine's carefully orchestrated plan begins to collapse. Across the galaxy, confusion reigns within the ranks of the Grand Army of the Republic. The betrayal meant to be swift and total is now fragmented and inconsistent. Jedi who would have perished are still alive, and the clones' loyalty is restored by sheer force of will and the bonds forged in years of battle. With Palpatine's betrayal partially exposed, the next step falls to the political arena. Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and other key senators are contacted by surviving Jedi. Evidence of the inhibitor chips, medical scans from Kamino, and first-hand testimony from clones like Rex and Cody reveal a horrifying truth. The Chancellor had manipulated the entire army against its own leaders. The Senate reels. Palpatine had portrayed the Jedi as traitors, enemies of the Republic, but now the evidence is irrefutable. Jedi are not conspirators, they are victims. Clones are not mindless killers, they are manipulated soldiers who were nearly turned into assassins against their allies. The Senate demands action. Emergency meetings are convened. Holo recordings of Kaminoan laboratories previously hidden from public scrutiny are released across the HoloNet. For the first time, ordinary citizens see the truth. The Chancellor is a Sith Lord, orchestrating war for his own gain. Palpatine scrambles, attempting to maintain his grip on power. He declares martial law, calling the Jedi rebels, accusing them of manipulating the clones. But it's too late. His web of lies unravels. The galaxy sees him for what he truly is, a master manipulator whose power is built on fear and deception. Perhaps the most pivotal figure in this timeline is Anakin Skywalker. Anakin's fear for Padme and his manipulation by Palpatine leads him down the path to darkness, transforming him into Darth Vader. In this timeline, the Jedi are not scattered and desperate, they are organized, prepared, and united. When Mace Windu moves to arrest Palpatine, he does not face the Sith Lord alone. Yoda, Obi-Wan, Kit Fisto, and Anakin himself confront Sidious together. Anakin faces a defining moment. Palpatine appeals to his fear, offering power to prevent Padme's death. But Anakin sees a different path. The Jedi are fighting, not retreating. They are the true defenders of peace, not traitors to be crushed. Anakin's fear is met with courage, his doubts tempered by the unity and resolve of those around him. The duel is epic. Palpatine hurls Force lightning, deflecting lightsabers and tossing Jedi aside, but teamwork and skill prevail. Obi-Wan strikes precise blows, while Yoda channels the Force to disrupt Sidious's concentration. Anakin, finally free from the pull of fear, finds clarity. Together, the Jedi disarm the Sith Lord. Sidious is captured alive, his schemes laid bare for the galaxy to see. Anakin's fall never occurs. Darth Vader is never born. The galaxy's darkest shadow never descends. With Palpatine exposed as a Sith Lord, the Republic faces a moment of reckoning. Emergency powers are stripped. Mas Amedda and other loyalists attempt to stabilize the political situation, but the damage is done. The Senate is shaken by the revelation that Chancellor Palpatine, the figurehead of the Galactic Republic, was orchestrating betrayal from the start. The Jedi Order, though battered and tested, survives. Thousands of Jedi who would have perished remain alive, scattered but determined. The clones, once instruments of a deadly plot, are freed. Many undergo medical procedures to remove the remaining inhibitor chips. Guilt and relief mix across the ranks. Clones like Rex, Cody, and Bly become symbols of loyalty, courage, and free will, living proof that bonds forged in battle cannot be broken by treachery. The Republic, though fragile, begins a process of reform. The Jedi are no longer secretive guardians, they are active participants in rebuilding the galaxy, and the galaxy, for the first time in decades, begins to breathe free. Without Palpatine, Dooku, or even Grievous to manipulate them, the Separatist leadership loses cohesion. Many Separatist worlds, realizing they were pawns in a Sith game, sue for peace. The war does not end in one climactic victory, but in a series of negotiated settlements. Planets that once fought desperately against the Republic now cooperate in rebuilding. Some Separatist leaders like Nute Gunray flee into the unknown regions, but the immediate threat of galaxy-wide domination is eliminated. Padme Amidala lives. She never witnesses the fall of the Republic or the betrayal of the Jedi Order. She gives birth to Luke and Leia in safety. Anakin and Padme free to raise them without fear of Sith machinations. Anakin, now a Jedi Knight free of corruption, faces a new challenge, balancing the Jedi Code with his love for Padme. Debate arises within the Council about whether Jedi can marry, but in this reality, compromise prevails. The Order begins to reform, understanding that love and family can exist alongside duty and discipline. Luke and Leia grow up surrounded by the Force, nurtured by both parents and the Jedi. Anakin's legacy is one of hope, not terror. The galaxy sees the Skywalkers as a symbol of resilience and courage. With the threat of Order 66 behind them, the Jedi Order transforms. They are no longer blindly obedient soldiers, but wise guardians of the galaxy. Ahsoka Tano, who had once abandoned the Order in frustration, returns to guide the younger generation. Shakti and Plo Koon help implement reforms. Jedi across the galaxy train not just in combat, but in diplomacy, empathy, and leadership. The Order's survival ensures that the lessons of the past are not forgotten. The Jedi, reborn from near extinction, are stronger, wiser, and more connected to the galaxy they serve. And that's where the story ends. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think could have happened if Order 66 failed? Would Anakin still have fallen, or would the galaxy have truly found peace? Drop your theories and ideas in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this What If, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Be sure to check out my film channel, Pulley Productions, where I produce independent short films. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.